Hi, I'm Dave, and I know wrestling. Do you want a wrestler who set the record for the most career wins during his time at Kent State University? Do you want a wrestler that won all 3 NCAA Mid-Atlantic Conference Championships? And do you want a wrestler who's an actual wrestler? Then allow me to introduce to you my client for Dave Knows Wrestling's Honest Promos, the love child of Popeye and Martha Stewart, Echo the Dolphin. He's here to show the world not a whole lot. Nick Nemeth or Dolph Ziggler. Behold, a wrestler that pulled a reverse AJ Styles by going from WWE to New Japan to TNA. A move that many dumber fans really think should have been done much sooner. Which only proves that people like them don't understand how commerce works. You could either work for WWE and get paid millions of dollars to not win the WWE Championship, or you could not work for WWE, get paid nowhere near as much, and still not win the WWE Championship. Which of these would you choose? And considering that Nick has won actual wrestling titles, do you think a predetermined leather strap with metal plates on it really means all that much to him? Now I know, some of you out there feel that it's a matter of self-respect over that of money. But if that was the case, and if Nick did feel that way, then explain the Spirit Squad. Adding to that, let's also remember that his time as Nicky prevented him from doing his original gimmick, which was supposed to be Kurt Angle's protege. If you didn't already have enough reasons to hate the Spirit Squad. Yeah, at least that was better than his time as Kurt and White's caddy. Okay, but wait, hold up, let's put all that aside, because we can't forget about the massive pop that he got when he cashed in his Money in the Bank the night after WrestleMania, as that one reaction has had many fans holding on to that as proof that Nick belongs in the main event, even though it seems that WWE management has been holding on to the one reaction he got from getting kicked in the head as proof that he doesn't. Truth of the matter is that Nick is just another in a long line of wrestlers that the internet swore would set the world on fire if they were just given a chance to shine. But when they did get the spotlight, that bulb burned out faster than RVD's wellness test. Not everybody can be Hulk Hogan. And while you keep making excuses for Nick, even though you'll never admit it, you know deep down to some level that Vince McMahon was right about him. It's okay, you can like a wrestler who doesn't draw money. It's fine, it's not a big deal. And in that case, you could look at all of his time as a middling mid-carder and realize that it's mercy rather than hindrance. Oh, but speaking of times when WWE tried to take Nick a little more seriously, does anybody remember when he cut his hair and stopped bleaching it? Although I'm not entirely sure that was him and not just Evan Bourne substituting for a month. But forget about all that, because Nick is now in TNA, and he was heavily advertised for the Rebellion pay-per-view after he debuted in the company, and all that promoting resulted in an astounding 500 buys. That's right, not 500,000 buys, just 500. Did lightning strike the tower or something? Yeesh, those sound like the kind of numbers that TNA pulled back in the beginning when they were just a weekly pay-per-view. That WWE catering is looking pretty good about now. But hey, it's not his fault that he got fired by Endeavor, as it's amazing that his career in WWE lasted as long as it did, since he was one of the higher paid wrestlers but was barely featured on screen. So it just makes sense that Endeavor would look at the situation and realize that Nick is about as cost-effective as a golden toilet. Why pay all that money for something you're just gonna crap on? At least now he gets to use his real name, the name that won all those major wrestling championships, instead of using the pseudonym that was half a homage to his grandfather and half a Boogie Nights reference. I mean, if somebody's gonna bite off a Marky Mark, it probably should have been John Cena. Although, there is a reverse to that, as Cena is highly suspected of playing a parody of Nick in that movie Trainwreck, because that film is loosely based on the life of Amy Schumer, and Amy and Nick did date in real life. Then again, Nick did also date Nikki Bella as well, who is John Cena's ex. Man, this real-life rivalry might be more wrestling than any wrestling storyline the two ever did. Especially when we remember all of Nick's on-screen romances in wrestling, since he's pretty much WWE's version of James Marsden, always being the other guy, like with Mandy Rose and Otis and Rusev and Lana, which, by the way, was a storyline that got completely dropped because the two of them got engaged in real life, and we're wishing the two of them a long and happy never mind. Oh yeah, and there was also the on-screen coupling of Nick with Vicky Guerrero. And between that and the Chavo thing, it seems like Nick has been forced into the Guerrero family more than Dominic Mysterio. And speaking of forcing, let's just look at how hard Nick has been trying to bring back selling in modern wrestling. Because while people act like it's just an AEW and New Japan thing, let's not pretend like WWE doesn't also have a severe sales shortage problem, which has only been made worse without Nick. But the really messed up thing is that Nick does exactly what a wrestler is supposed to do. They sell a lot in order to make their opponent look great, but the only problem is, since he's one of the few people on the roster still doing it, It actually just makes him look weak. That's what you get for doing your job right. But all that, and the fact that he could fight in real life, really doesn't matter because visually, he seems like he's too small to take Randy Orton. In the end, if you want a wrestler who Amy Schumer said was too athletic for her in bed, another wrestler who kept using the rocket dropper, even though it's a completely useless move, and a wrestler who could always fall back on his promising stand-up career, then allow me to introduce to you my client for Dave Knows Wrestling's Honest Promos, Short Order Catering, Spirited Away, the the show-off, Nick Nemeth or Dolph Ziggler. Is it weird that he was just handed a world title that one time? I mean, a kayfabe predetermined championship? It's like a double negative or something, right?